No, we knew this was gonna happen. The boy looked good every time he stepped out. The Mexican monster, man. Oh, yeah. David Benavidez. Yeah. The boy looks great every time he steps out. I'm not gonna say Canelo's ducking him. But I would like to see them fight. Well, because he displayed a masterpiece when he fought old boy.
Yeah. Yard.
Where does he go from?
Yard.
Yeah, where does he go from there?
It's everybody saying, him being at 175 pounds now, it has to be Bivol. It has to be Benavidez. If it's not those two guys, you're basically robbing this kid of his career. I agree with that.
I agree
think
too.
He's at this point, he's paid his dude. He's done everything he needs to do to be fighting a Dimitri Bivol or a Arthur Beterbiev. That being said, it's just a matter of the business working for him. I don't know what the situation is. Last I saw, they were supposed to be doing that trilogy match, and I don't know what's going on with that. But if you're not fighting one another, one of y'all need to be getting ready to fight
Canelo,
Mr. David Benavidez.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I don't think David really would have a pick of the poison. I think the harder fight for him is Bivol because Bivol is much more versatile, can do a lot of things. Same breath, Beterbiev can take a punch and he can deliver a punch.
For sure.
So both fights are dangerous fights for him.
Yeah.
I think both fights are 50-50 fights for him. But if it's not either of those two guys, I don't know who it's going to be.
Canelo's off the table? He ain't doing it.
Canelo's off the table because I'm not sure if going
weight?
back to 168 pounds, not that they can't.
Canelo ain't going up, though.
Canelo's 100% not going back.
You know who told him don't come back here. Bivol told him he ain't going back up. Yeah, he ain't going back up, for sure.
I don't know. I do know that there was an interview some time ago where David said that he would go back down to 168 to fight Canelo. Me being a former fighter, knowing what that mentality is like, you get to a point where somebody they keep saying no, or they keep doing this and playing around and stuff like that. Forget it. Right. Once I turn my back and I go the other way,
I'm done.
I just don't need you anymore.
For sure.
In some ways he does, because I don't think there's another fight that's going to put him on the globe
like he wants to be,
the way that he deserves to be.
Right, for sure. Deserves.
Forget wants to
be.
You
right. Deserves.
The way that he deserves to be.
You deserve it, David.
I just don't think it's anybody else out there that can do it other than Canelo.
Yeah. And Canelo ain't going up, though.
You got Bivol and you got Beterbiev.
Yep. I would love to see.
But the landscape of who's coming to those fights are still different from who's coming to a fight with Canelo. It's the passing of the torch. And
that's it.
It's really just a matter of if Canelo wants to pass the torch.
He passed it to Bud. I'm just saying. If we gonna pass it, pass that motherfucker. If you been the shit since 2012, Canelo.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. That boy been raking in it. If you gonna pass it, he passed it to the homie already. Yeah. Pass it to the other Mexican homie, man. At least pass it down to your community.
Hey,
man.
Listen, man. You know what but this is what I do, and I wouldn't be mad at him if he did it.
Right? Yeah, I wouldn't either.
You want to retire? Hey, Benavidez, you can have it.
You can have it, bro.
And you do that interview directly telling people like Benavidez is the guy.
Yeah.
Watch him. And that coming out of Canelo's mouth.
For sure.
That's the other way.
He can pass the torch.
He can not only pass the torch, but that's the other way. He can, for the sake of words, put Benavidez on that level that he deserves.
That's what Floyd did for Canelo. He whooped that young Canelo at 23. He was like, I only got 3 fights left. Yeah. You gonna be next, champ. Yeah. Hell of a fighter. I whooped your ass, but he gonna be good. You watch Canelo. But I do gotta ask you this, man, before we wrap it up, because this is your homie, and you probably already know the plan. You won't say it on the front page, but we know Terence Crawford is your partner, man. His feet have been kicked up for a minute after his big win. He had cemented his place in the history of boxing. Yeah. What's next for him? Has he gave you anything? What might be on the radar? I mean, tell us something.
I got a suit that I did for him.
Okay,
I know he's gonna be putting that on soon.
Okay.
It's about
at a press conference. At a press conference. Devin looked great his first time out at 147. Mm-hmm. He looked stronger.
Yeah.
He looked more like he was comfortable in that weight. He felt like. He didn't run as much to me. He stood there and fought a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What'd you think about it?
I'm trying to think of like when was the last time that we might have had a co-main event that was more anticipated than the main event.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of one. I ain't gonna front of y'all. Like I'm trying to think of what fight did I have that was a co-main that people might have been more, as excited about or whatever. I fought
I'm trying to think.
I fought Devin Alexander for my first title fight.
You did fight Devin.
I don't think the energy for
that was
this,
a co-main? I thought that was the main.
Who
was the main on that card?
I think what's his name was the main. Deontay Wilder, I believe, was the main.
Okay.
Was the main on that card. And then you fast forward a little right after that, I ended up fighting Paulie. And I was co-main of that card.
The fight I watched 10 times. He made fun of me for watching that fight 10 times.
And I just can't think of any. All that being said, I think that the expectation that it met in terms of we got drama, we got excitement, we got we got a surprise, which is never a bad thing in boxing.
We did get a surprise.
The reason why you say it's a surprise is because I would think that more people than not, with Brian Norman doing what he was doing, there was I remember a lot of people. I didn't really hear anybody saying, Dev going, Dev this, Dev that, right. But you kept hearing that from Brian, so Dev puts him down in the second round and was like,
what happened?
Right. Okay,
right, yeah.
Well, how's he gonna respond?
Yeah.
Because he was.
Yeah, he was right there.
We like this about to, and it didn't really do that. But for overall, it was a really good boxing match, and I agree with you. More than anything, seeing
that Shawn Porter, baby. Everybody want him. Everybody want him. Phone ringing and everything.
At the 147-pound weight class, and look the way he looked. And the reason why I point that out is because, like I always say, there's a difference between moving up into a weight class and looking like you belong there.
For sure.
You can look like you belong there because you got enough speed, you got enough moves, talent, whatever the case may be. Yeah. You can look like you belong there because you moved up and you actually clocked somebody and they, but once you really go past everything, you looked at how comfortable he looked in his
He looked comfortable as hell.
Face and the skin and the he filled out, and we always we shrink a little bit. Nah. Yeah, exactly.
He didn't look drained at all.
Exactly.
He
was glowing.
He just woke up. You feel me?
Usually there's this shrinking process with getting to the weight class. Then what we call rehydration, right? Okay. So once we rehydrate, the muscles and everything, they expand back to natural form. He didn't even look like he had to go through a process of shrinking.
Comfortable. Might have been his best camp, though. Well, maybe because he didn't really have to focus on losing the weight. You know what I'm saying? Most fighters, it's 2 fights in the camp. You fighting the weight and you fighting your opponent.
And I got to a point where I was like, because I was going through that myself. I was like, I want to get to a point where I don't have to focus on the weight cut. My dad was always on me, and he said, man, we worrying about your weight. We need to be game planning. How can I implement this and that? And so a lot of times it takes you actually fighting where you should be already. Imagine the kid was fighting at 135. He might even try to turn pro as low as 130. I don't know that to be a fact, but I do know that when you go from being 135 pounds to one fight at 140 and now you're at 147, that's probably where you should have been this whole time.
Right. Yeah. But do you think it was he didn't move up so fast because he was scared of the power? Knowing he don't have a lot of knockouts?
A lot of these guys nowadays seen Manny Pacquiao be an 8th division world champion.
And they want to climb up.
Everybody wants to climb up. I know somebody, I'm not gonna say their name, but I know somebody that's literally like, I just need to get a world championship title and then I'm going up immediately. They just want to be able to get that one in that division and they want to start stacking them, So I think that was a part of the process for Devin too.
Man, where do you see what you see for Devin after this fight? Because he went out there and he put out a masterful performance. Yeah, I appreciated both fighters. What up, Adrian Clark? Adrian Clark manages Brian Norman. That's my homie. Okay. But what you expect from Devin going forward? Because I heard they might, if Ryan handle his business.
Right.
If Ryan Garcia handle his business.
Do you know when that fight's supposed to take place? Is that a January fight?
I think so. I'm not sure.
The sooner the better.
The sooner the better. So now
the reason why I ask is because you want to be on this, when you got this kind of situation, you got to be on the same calendar.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You can't be so spaced out. The one thing that I don't want is for Dev to have so much time out of the ring, out of the system of being getting ready for a fight. No secret, once you get the money, you get the vacation. That vacation goes from being 1 week to all of a sudden it's
3 months.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing coming no time soon. 2 weeks to turn into a month. You know what I mean? So you want a fighter to be able to enjoy their fruits but stay busy and stay focused,
Hell yeah. So do you?
But I think that's what's next.
You think
would be an ill fight?
Why wouldn't it be next though? Who else would he? What else does he have to prove? You want to avenge that loss.
A lot of fights we look at, we be like, that should be, but it don't happen. So, anything can happen.
But my thing is, who will win that fight?
You talking about
Devin and Ryan.
I
Rematch.
got Devin winning the rematch.
Me too.
You got Devin winning the rematch?
I had Devin winning the rematch before this fight.
Okay.
I had Devin winning the rematch right after his fight.
Just
So
because
you saying that was
he look good right now.
Because I knew what I was seeing.
Right.
I knew what I was seeing. You know, you got a kid that's literally seeming as if he's out of his mind, and you go into the ring laxed, thinking, you know, he did half the job for me. Yeah. He came in here and he not ready to be in here. You did half the job for me, and I think he was laxed. And I think that was the first round he went down there, right?
I think first or second round, it was one of them.
Ended up going down, and then it just never really
couldn't
clicked
get his
for him,
feet back for it.
In the rematch, I just think that Devin Haney has improved as a boxer.
For sure. A little stronger at 47 too.
Stronger at 147 pounds. I think there's for me, there's no doubt about it. You know, again, like knowing that he ain't cutting into the muscle no more, and you know, handling things the way he's supposed to. He's gonna be strong at 147 pounds.
Okay. Anybody else out there for Dev at 147 outside of Ryan?
I mean, that's a great question. I'm hearing Rolly might end up fighting Manny.
What?
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard Manny was supposed to fight Floyd.
And then
right.
Then
That's what I heard.
Saw Manny over the weekend. They asked when is he gonna fight Floyd, and he said, I can't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing I can say.
You got to tell us something, Manny.